This is episode 85 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. The Bengals are in the middle of their first December playoff push in years, and they're hoping to get back on track this week after they lost to the Los Angeles Chargers last week against the San Francisco 49ers this week. The Browns are hoping to stay alive this week in a rematch with the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to talk about each team's chances of coming away with a victory this week, what that would mean. Plus, we have some, shall you say, interesting things to say about the Ravens and Steelers, as we always do.
Hell yeah, we do.
Finally, even with the refs doing everything they can to hand games to the Steelers, they're just not getting it done this year. Because why, Thomas?
Because Pittsburgh, Chase Claypool, Bill Roethlisberger getting ready to retire, Mike Tomlin be tripping. All suck. You suck, Pittsburgh.
Particularly Chase Claypool. We'll talk about Chase Claypool in a little bit.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
So first of all, what you drinking tonight, Thomas?
Today I am drinking a Corona.
Wow. Of course you are.
I think it's finally safe to drink one of these.
What was it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Took me a second. Oh, so for I think possibly the first time on the Battle of Ohio podcast, you're drinking something and I'm not. I am drinking
for real?
something. I'm drinking coffee today because I was up crazy late last night trying to get my 49ers preview video done for my YouTube channel. And and after this I gotta take the kids somewhere, and I am ready to fall asleep, so I need my coffee right now.
Usually I'm the one drinking the coffee.
Dude, if I don't, I will die.
Well, guys, there's a valuable lesson here that Kyle's teaching everybody. Do not drink and take the kids for a drive.
Well, that's going to be around like 8:30 when I do that. So if I were to drink now, that would one beer would filter through my system by then.
But also, if you are going to your kid's high school football game, and you want to have a beer or two, I wouldn't blame you. High school football sucks. Hot take. Oh, really? It does. You get like one player on the field who's probably going to a college football team.
Quick pause. Sorry about that. My food's here. What?
You said pause.
Oh, okay. Unpause.
So you get one or two players who are probably going to freaking college. You get one or two players who will probably go to college, and then after that, it's just like high school football sucks. Let's be real. I mean, every once in a while you go to those high school games where there's a few players, and high school championships are always fun, and then obviously it's great for the kids. But if I'm just the average spectator, somebody's like, "Hey, you want to go to this high school football game?" Hell no. Shoot, I'm going to pay $15. Tickets to the Browns Ravens game are going for $35 this weekend. Shoot, I'd rather do that.
$35?
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let me check.
Dude, how the hell you get $35? Can I spend $35 and go to a football game? What are you sitting behind that pole?
No, and they got rid of the pole. It's 30. Yep, 35. 35 on TickPick.
How are you getting $35 for that important of a game, or any game for that matter?
Because it's cold. It's cold. You're paying money to sit out in the cold. Do you know how cold it gets in that stadium?
I would pay twice that amount to sit out there in the cold and watch football.
Yeah, but there's 7 layers of hell of cold sitting out in that stadium. Because it's right off the lake, though.
I didn't think about that.
Somebody had a bright idea. Let's build a stadium on the lake.
Hey,
And
it's
then
a
after they
home
tore
field
that
advantage.
as they tore that stadium down, they built a second one off the lake.
All right. Well, speaking of that stadium, let's go ahead and dive into these games. And I guess we can go ahead and since we're on the subject, let's start with the Browns this week.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Well, since we're
Oh,
on the
shit.
subject, so the Browns get a rematch with the Ravens, and this one could have massive implications. Because I mean, the Ravens are on a bit of a skid lately, and the Bengals have kind of been up and down. But if the Ravens keep skidding, then I mean, the Bengals could really end up like division champions here by default, which is not necessarily the way you want to win, but still.
No, I said that word about the Browns. But you know what's great about this though? You know what's great about this, Colin, Kyle. Let's call you Colin. What's great about this is that like I've been calling this, and I've been getting roasted in the AFC North page. Like, oh, you're just talking shit about the Steelers and the Ravens. Like, am I though? Did I not say what did I say? I said that they're going to slump. But not only that, I said in the offseason that the Ravens and Steelers, they always do this thing where they win a whole bunch of games they shouldn't win, and then they come down to earth later in the season. That's what's going to happen. That's why I think it's going to happen because their talent won't be able to last them for the duration of the season. Well, now we're in December, where it's cold off the lake, and the boys are men, and the pretend men are boys. And I just don't, like honestly, dude, like I think the Ravens gonna come in this game really cocky, and
Well,
I mean, we already
that
made our
they're coming
predictions.
into this game now. Not that the Browns aren't, but the Ravens are coming into this game insanely injured.
Yeah,
Like Marlon Humphrey's out for the year. I can't remember if we covered that on the last episode of the podcast or not, but Marlon Humphrey, their starting cornerback, is out for the
out for the
year.
year. Yep.
And Marcus Peters has been out all year too. So both of the dudes who were expected to be their starting cornerbacks this year, they're both of them are out.
Well,
I think Anthony Averett is their starting cornerback now.
yeah, but it is noteworthy that the Browns gonna be short at tight end. And not
Yeah,
like we don't have like 50 of them though.
yeah, you got David Njoku and Harrison Bryant who are out this week.
Oh no, the Browns gonna have to start the highest paid tight end in the NFL. The
Browns are
point
going to
is,
have to start. What did you say? The third highest paid tight end in the
no,
NFL?
I think he's the highest paid tight end, and well, he was unless somebody got paid. Who got paid after? Who would have got paid after him?
Is Harrison Bryant the highest paid tight end in the NFL?
No, Austin Hooper. Harrison Bryant won't be playing
Oh, right. Austin Hooper. So how is Austin Hooper? Austin Hooper's like your third string tight end. How is he the highest paid?
because the Browns overpaid for him to come to the team 2 years ago.
But why?
Because Kevin Stefanski wanted a tight end, so he
But you had
got
David
3.
Njoku.
Yeah, then they
Why would you?
drafted one.
Look. No, I
Then
get.
they drafted
I,
one.
I get having 3 tight ends who are really good. I get it. Makes perfect sense. It's kind of like with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I get why you would want as many pieces as you can get. Totally understandable. But why would you pay somebody that much to be your third string tight end? I don't get it.
Look, man, I don't have no answer for you. I just don't. I'm gonna be real with you. 'Cause I thought this a long time ago. I'm like, excuse me. If we're being honest, our receiver room really isn't that good. We say they're good because they're big names. We think that Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham are big names. But at the end of the day, how good is our receiver room really? But we got all these tight ends. It makes you wonder: is there really that many good receivers on this team?
Well, not this week because on top of Odell Beckham no longer being in Cleveland, you're going to be missing Anthony Schwartz too.
I know he hasn't been playing a lot, and that's kind of frustrating. That's our third round pick, and and the thing is that frustrates me about him is that I really think that he got a lot of talent. He got a lot of speed. He need to be on the field. He need reps.
Well, he is a rookie. I mean,
Yeah,
rookies like it's pretty uncommon. Like when the Bengals draft a wide receiver, unless it's like a top 10 pick, typically that wide receiver doesn't like start right away. Like quite
Yeah,
often,
but
actually, dudes don't really do much in their rookie season at all.
yeah, but he's hurt all the time. I get it. You're hurt. You can't help that. At the same time, like, it's just like, your best attribute is availability. But all right.
Especially in your
So
rookie season.
the people who are out: David Njoku, Anthony Walker, Jamie Gillen, our punter. We had to go sign a veteran punter. And the shorts,
Wait,
Harrison
Jimmy
Bryant.
Gain's out?
Yeah, the Scottish
Oh
Hammer.
God, Rip Browns are gonna lose.
I know. I'm so sad, man. I love the Scottish Hammer. You know
Best,
how much I
best,
love the Scottish Hammer.
best punter nickname in the NFL. Also, possibly the only one.
I love that dude. Like I like probably that dude. I'm probably Jamie Gillian's biggest fan.
I mean, he's the skill. I just know he's known as the Scottish Hammer, and he's a really good punter. So I mean, how can you
He's
not like him?
punted the ball over the terminal tower.
Did he really?
Yeah, he had a video of it on the YouTube. It's actually pretty funny.
That's awesome.
That was the building they had. If you watch the NFL draft, they put all the teams' logos on it, and then they when they were up for draft and the terminal tower changed colors. It's pretty cool.
All
Actually.
right. So Thomas, why don't you tell me? Because I sort of teased this at the top of the episode, but what do you think the Browns need to do? Because I'm curious from your perspective. Because obviously things didn't go so great for the Browns last time they played the Ravens, which was 2 weeks ago before the bye week. So what did the Browns need to do to get a different result this time? Like do you think they can, or do you think?
I think they can.
I mean, I guess that was not the way I meant to phrase it. Like, of course they can, but like, do you think it's realistic considering?
Yeah, I do.
Like how they didn't play that well, and they're also coming in with more injuries.
No, I think it's very realistic.
Okay, why is that? How's that? Rather? How are they going to do it?
A few reasons. Now we did lose Jack Conklin. But everything else on our offensive line is actually fairly healthy. Jedrick Wills gets some more time to feel healthy. He's looking like, he should be getting back there. But also, I don't know. I think it's more or less confidence in Kevin Stefanski. I don't think that I hear these insults and I realize that I guess I'm going by sports knowledge and like just my knowledge of sports. And I just know that these are smart people we're working with. I know that people believe in curses. People believe in the fact that the Browns are the same old Browns, whatever. But at the end of the day, you take a second and realize, wait, hold up, you got Kevin Stefanski. He ain't worried about what the Browns did in 2005, 2006. Andrew Berry ain't worried about the Browns did in 2006, 2005. Baker Mayfield ain't worried about what past quarterbacks did. And I think that this bye is a great time for them to regain focus. And I do have enough trust in these people that they went home. And if I truly believe that they're as good as they are, I know it's the NFL. People go through lumps. Teams go through lumps all the time in the NFL. And I just think that a bye is just so powerful for a team, especially for somebody like Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, somebody to draw up a game plan to figure out how to muster up offense. I don't think that what Lamar Jackson did to the Browns or what happened to Lamar Jackson 2 weeks ago on Sunday night, I don't think that was a fluke. I don't think that was something that Lamar Jackson just did because he was having a bad game. I think that's what Lamar Jackson's becoming, because that's the pattern that's been going on the last couple of weeks, and it's been consistently bad. We talk about Baker Mayfield being inconsistent. Lamar Jackson hasn't been inconsistent. Lamar Jackson has been consistently bad. Like, it hasn't been, he's been showing flashes here and there because he could make a throw and then 5 minutes later he can't make that same throw. What Lamar Jackson is doing is he can make a couple of throws here and there, and he's making the same throws that he can make. But when he can't make those sidearm throws, the only throw that Lamar Jackson can make are sidearm throws and throws where he's run out of pocket for 10 minutes and he sees somebody wide freaking open. Lamar Jackson had gotten to the point of his career where he cannot make any kind of throw casually in the pocket unless it's a little check down or a slant. He's not going to make a throw downfield if he's just chilling in that pocket. He's just not. He's just not. He might do like a little pretty sidearm throw. Oh, yeah, cool. Woo, sidearm throw. Oh my God. But it's just like what people used to say about what people said about Odell Beckham. And this woke me up about this. Oh yeah, cool, Odell. You can make this one-handed catch. But what are you gonna do on fourth down when we need a catch from you in the clutch? And so Lamar Jackson, you gotta stay in that pocket. You gotta pass that ball downfield. All right, you can run, but now we got players in the NFL to catch up to you. We got people in the NFL that's closing up on you. Oh yeah, now you're gonna step slower. Okay, Lamar Jackson, what you gonna do? You're going to turn the ball over. And that's what he's doing consistently. And so do I have confidence in Baker Mayfield where he can manage the game enough where they can score at least 20 points? Yes. Do I have confidence enough in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt that they're able to break out this game after 2 weeks of rest? Yes, I do. Do I have confidence that Jarvis Landry is going to feel a little more healthier after rest? Yes. And do I have confidence that Baker Mayfield has some time to really rest that leg? And I think that's the biggest thing. Oh yeah. And I think the defense knows what they need to do. I think the defense are ready. I don't think the defense is like, oh man, we almost had them. The defense is probably more confident. And I think the Ravens are going to be arrogant about this. I think that's another thing. The Ravens, I don't think the Ravens are going to take the Browns seriously. And I think that's a dangerous thing in football. I think the Ravens are going to get humbled this week. And like I said, Kyle, what did I say? 4 out of the last 5 they'll lose. I still think they might lose every single game for the rest of the season. I think that's a possibility. I think the Steelers might be able to beat them twice. But they will lose 4 out of 5 games at least. Watch. They're gonna fumble, man. When they lose to the Browns, it's gonna be a slippery slope.
Right. So Thomas, I want to nitpick a little bit on what you said. You said you're confident in the Browns to score at least 20 points to win this game. Well, the Browns offense has not generated 20 points in 7 of their 12 games this year.
Yep.
That's like far over half.
That's very correct.
So how can you have confidence in something that they're mostly not doing?
You get 2 weeks to game plan. I'm like dead serious. I think that that's an underrated. What did the Bengals do after the bye? They go into the bye and losing streak, and what do they do after the bye? Immediately after the bye,
they played well. I'm not saying
it's a very good Raiders team,
well.
Right? So
no, against a very talented Raiders team, but a sloppy Raiders team.
Well, what the Bengals were able to do is they were able to gather themselves and reformulate their game plan to come out will be able to take on a sloppy Raiders team. I think the Browns have a similar situation against the Ravens.
That is true. The
only thing, and also the other thing is they don't have no cornerbacks. Shit, pass the ball. I'm in the minority of this. Pass the ball. Like, look, I am in the very minority of this. You're not going to hear this from anybody else. This is probably why I'm not on ESPN and I'm in my bedroom. Pass the ball. They don't got no corners.
How's Baker's shoulder doing though?
I think I'm more worried about his leg and his foot than his shoulder. Because his shoulder, because he learned how to deal with his shoulder. What's bothering him more is that foot. He's having trouble planting, and you can see that he's more in pain trying to plant and trying to do those rollouts, and that makes him more limited. So I'm wondering how his foot is feeling.
Do you want him? Do you want him throwing a lot then, or do you know?
I hope he
You got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and then you got a hobbled Baker Mayfield who's having trouble planting. Like, I mean, I can imagine why people think you're crazy for saying like throw it a bunch. I get what you're saying. There's a matchup to exploit because of the Ravens, situation with their current with their current personnel situation. I get that.
I mean
but you also have to have the personnel to go do it, and I'm not sure if I'm not sure if Baker's in the position where throwing 30, 40 times a game is really in the Browns' best interest.
I don't gotta throw it 30, 40 times a game. Just throw it 10 to 15, 20. I think you should keep him on the 20 throws. I think you should keep him between 15 and 20 throws. I mean, don't do the Patriots game plan where they didn't throw it at all. But I do think that you should want the playbook and and see if you get a deep
Thomas,
shot to
give Mac
DPJ.
Jones some credit. He threw the ball 3 times.
Hey man, give him some credit. He played the ball 2 out of 3 times. That's a what?
Exactly.
Six,
That's like
six, six completion percentage.
667, but yeah. All right,
Six,
so let's
six,
go
six,
ahead
7.
and let's go ahead and move on to the Bengals then. So
You suck, Lamar. All right, go ahead.
yeah, well, okay. So actually, real quick, like I'll give a little bit of my thought on that too. Like I do agree with you. I think the Ravens are sloppy, and but I also think the Browns are sloppy. That's the thing. Like I think in predictions, I predicted the Ravens are going to win this game, and it's not necessarily because I really believe in the Ravens. It's just because right now I'm having a little bit of trouble believing in the Browns. Like the
I
Browns
believe
just
that.
haven't showed it to me this year. I mean, obviously they showed it to me in person, personally. You know, I can't talk too much shit, I guess. But I'm not trying to talk shit here. I'm trying to be analytical. Like I just haven't seen it consistently from the Browns this year. And you know, the last time that we saw them was against the Ravens, and it didn't work out so well. But anyway,
look, man. Like, let's go on to this Bengals. I said what I need to say.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the Bengals. So this game is also going to be heavily defined by injuries. I guess it's just that time of the year, right? When injuries are just piling up for every team, because the 49ers actually have a really interesting situation going on with their running backs that reminds me a lot of the Ravens, because the Ravens are down like all of their running backs basically, right? So the 49ers went out and got JaMychal Hasty on waivers. I think it was waivers. It was either waivers or just straight up free agency. I forget, but that's because they're going to be without Trenton Cannon and rookie Elijah Mitchell, and Deebo Samuel's questionable. So it's like I think the idea is like even if Deebo Samuel plays, A, he might be having a limited number of snaps, and B, he might be having a limited amount of effectiveness. So the 49ers have been a really good offense this year, largely because their running game has been so good. But you're going up against the Bengals defense that ranks like top 10 against the run in like a ton of categories. Like I forget exactly which ones, but I know it's they've allowed like a top 10 number of rushing yards, a top 10 number of rushing touchdowns, first downs, and there's like some fourth category. I forget what it is. But, you know, point being, this Bengals rushing defense has been stellar. You're going up against the 49ers offense, which, like, the idea is, like, you need to stop their running game and make Jimmy Garoppolo throw it more often, because he's going to – if you do that, then he's going to make some mistakes, and then you can capitalize on those mistakes. But it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to shut down their running game when they don't have any damn running backs.
Well, there you go. There you go. It will be easy to shut down a running game when you don't got no running backs. That's so easy. It's really easy to shut down a car when you don't got no gas.
Right. The only thing kind of like hampering that a little bit though is like, I mean, the Bengals are going to be without Logan Wilson in this game, and they might be without him for a few weeks. They're not putting him on IR right now. So, I mean, I think there's some hope that he could maybe come back for the Ravens game in a couple of weeks. But he's definitely going to be out this week, and he's almost definitely going to be out next week against the Broncos, I believe.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to get a health team. Y'all playoff team, so.
Well, I do think the Bengals are certainly capable of being a playoff team, and you know they definitely set themselves up in good position this year to go do that. But now it's like you got 5 games left. You need to go solidify that. Now, I mean, here's the thing: like if the Bengals are 7-5 right now, right? So if they win a comparable number of games the rest of the year that they won the first couple of games of the year, then what? They'll probably finish like 3-2. If you would think, right? You'd think they finish 3-2.
If they say finish 3-2, they should make the playoffs. Yes.
Yeah, if they finish 3-2, then they will. They'll definitely be in contention for a wild card spot, if not winning the division, because you know one of those 5 games they have left to play is against the Ravens, who are only one game ahead of them because the Ravens are having a hell of amount of trouble of actually separating from the Bengals right now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. God, it hurts my soul to say this, but thank you, Steelers.
Well, hey man, look, another one of those games against the Browns. The Browns went 4 out of 5, and y'all in one of those games y'all lose is against the Browns on the last game of the season. That's in the division.
Yeah, that could end up being for the division.
I
If the
kind of hope
Browns,
that situation happens so this podcast will be lit.
yeah,
This
no,
podcast will be lit.
I actually kind of do too. If the Browns beat the Ravens this upcoming week,
It's about to get interesting.
then that game in Week 18 between the Bengals and Browns could be for the division. That
It's
would
about to
be
get
that would be
interesting.
really interesting. That would be
It's,
really interesting, and that
it's
would
about
make
to
me
get
kind of
interesting.
nervous because, obviously the
They're
Browns
coming.
match up pretty well
They're
against
coming.
us, but
They're coming. Like, look, man. Like, I see. Like, look, the season is over. I mean, it could be if we lose this game, but the season is over. I think everybody knows the season is over. But that's one of the reasons why I think that people in football is like the shortest season, but it's the longest season. But you have the most time. Football is the one sport that you have the longest time to react to things. It's the best way to describe football. So the best thing I like about football is I love the overreaction from game to game. And I just love it. I just love it. I'm a big picture guy. So until the big picture is ultimately destroyed, I still think, wait, don't forget this big picture. And I just think it can get real interesting here. But yeah, y'all gotta win 4 out of 5.
Yep.
If y'all win 4 out of 5, y'all win the division outright.
Well, if we win 4 out of 5, yeah, sure. I mean, if we win 4 out of 5, I'm not worried about what happens. If we win 4 out of 5, then we're finishing the season 11-6, and I'm not worried about if we're making the playoff. Of course, we're making the playoffs if we finish 11-5. I'm more so thinking like if we finish 3-2, that probably is still good enough. 2-3, honestly, I feel like if we finish 2-3, I have no confidence at that point that we can win a playoff game if we finish 2-3. But I do think that as crazy as the AFC North has been, it's been crazy competitive. No team in the AFC North appears to be really good this year. But everybody's competitive. It's like nobody's good, but nobody's bad, right? Like, I mean, we talk shit about the Steelers constantly on this podcast, right? But to their credit, they're alive somehow. They're not anymore. They probably losing to the Vikings was probably it for their season, but
probably having Chase Claypool on their team is probably it for the season.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Steelers have a ton of problems. They're not going to make it to the playoffs. But the fact that they still could, the fact that they're still in it, considering the state of their franchise right now, is remarkable. And then look at the Bengals. The massive turnaround that the Bengals have had after after 3 straight years of just complete and total irrelevance. And then you've got the Browns who are coming off the really incredible season they had last year, and it's like this year it's not as good as last year, but they're still competitive. They're still probably going to finish with a winning record, and it's actually quite possible that every team in the AFC North this year finishes with a winning record. And part of that, I think, is because there's no juggernauts in this division. Like there's the AFC North is not going to come away. Whoever wins the AFC North is not going to be anywhere near in contention for the number 1 overall seed. That's just not going to happen.
Honestly, there's no juggernauts in the AFC at all, for real. When you think about it, who the Patriots? I would say the Patriots. I would say the Patriots. So you would say any, but yeah,
I would say the Patriots. The Patriots got off to a slow start. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
So. But ever since the Patriots kind of got their shit together, yes, I would say the Patriots are kind of playing like a juggernaut lately.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, man, first of all, I should have started the Patriot bandwagon before everybody else because I was on the Patriot bandwagon. I was on the Patriot bandwagon when they smoked the Browns. I was like, it's not that the Browns are that bad. It's just that the Patriots are that good. And people were like, that's just the excuse. Look, it is. But it's also a fact. I really do think the Patriots are. I realized how good the Patriots were when they blew out the Browns. And I was like, nah, the Patriots are they're just that freaking good.
Yeah. Well, no, the Patriots are good, and I do think I do think that game did say something about the Browns, but like I also feel like, and I said this at the time, that the Patriots, something special is going on in New England right now. So it's like I do think that the Browns needed to learn a lesson from that game. I do think that that game said something not so good about the Browns, but
See you on the playoffs, New England.
it's not like y'all got like beat like that by the Lions, Like the Patriots might be actually, according to my power rankings, the Patriots are the best team in the NFL right now, and they have been for a few weeks.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good.
So
they're pretty damn good.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to talking about the fantasy league real quick.
Oh yeah.
So
out of the
Thomas,
playoffs.
Are you going to set your lineup?
I mean, yeah, I should. I should.
Like,
because like here's the thing though, because like I don't want to, because if I can't make the playoffs, I'm gonna ruin somebody else's playoff hopes, and that's in good spirit. That's in good spirit of fantasy football, because I don't want somebody else to look at the schedule and go like, oh, he's playing Thomas, so he get an easy win. No easy wins. Yeah,
well,
you know what I mean.
Well, you know what? It's funny. I'm playing Brad McGee, who has the same record as you, and it appears that I might get an easy win out of this week because I'm not sure he's going to set his lineup. He's still got Mo Alley Cox in at tight end, who is on a bye week, and he's got Antonio Brown in at wide receiver, who's suspended, and he's got Keenan Allen in at wide receiver, who's on COVID-19. But yeah, Brad
Cox.
That's his name.
Mo Alley.
Oh, and he's got Jerick McKinnon in, who's on IR. So I think Brad might be checked out. Like, so I think I'm going to get an easy win this week.
Mo Alley Cox.
God, I could play anybody. I could just experiment this week. I could like throw in like I don't know, like put in David Johnson just to see if David Johnson does anything. Maybe I'll start Kyler Murray just to see. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to start Kyler Murray, see if I can trust him again.
You think Jamar Chase is going to have a big game this weekend?
I know I can't do that. Kirk Cousins already played. Damn, I can't sub him out. Oh well. I think Jamar Chase is going to have a big game this weekend? No, I don't.
Because I got Chubby Herbert, Sony Mitchell, Williams from the Kansas City, and Chase Edmonds on my bench for wide receiver running back spot in my league. Should I flex somebody else in that position?
I don't. I mean, maybe. Like, here's the thing. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to have a big game this week. Now, if you have somebody who you feel like like one player is going to have a big game this week, then yeah, for sure, sub Jamar Chase out. But I don't necessarily know if like Jamar Chase is going to be bad this week. I just think the one thing the 49ers pass defense does well is they don't let the big play go. And that's what Jamar Chase has been really good at. I mean, not the last couple weeks, if that interception has anything to say about it, but but for the most part, that's how Jamar Chase is like buttered his bread this year, right? I mean, he's had the big deep shot plays and stuff like that, and it's like San Francisco doesn't let that happen a lot. So if I had to bet, this is probably going to be like I think I'm actually kind of thinking this might be a big Tyler Boyd game. Because T. Higgins, while I think he's going to play, he's dealing with a little bit of an ankle issue. Jamar Chase, I think they're going to focus on Jamar Chase, and like every team has done so far. And also they're pretty good at stopping like the deep ball and stuff like that. So I think it might be a quiet day for Jamar Chase. Now, that doesn't mean I think Jamar Chase isn't going to get anything done. I still think he could maybe get a touchdown. I think he could maybe get 50, 60, 70 receiving yards this week, but I don't think he's going to have I think the leading receiver this week is probably going to be Tyler Boyd, because Tyler Boyd is the perfect player. Like I've said before, he's the best slot receiver in the NFL. He's the perfect guy to attack the San Francisco 49ers offense. And he's due for a big game too.
Kyle Phelps, president of the Tyler Boyd fan club.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm gonna go get like a Tyler Boyd jersey or anything like that, but I do think that he's hella underrated. Like as far as like what he brings to a football team. And part of the reason he's underrated is because he hasn't been doing a lot this year because all the targets have been going to Jamar Chase and T Higgins. Well,
By
that's
the
not true.
way,
He's been getting some targets, but
if you okay, so have you okay, so if you're the president of the Andy Dalton fan club and you're the
I might be
president
that.
of the Tyler Boyd fan club,
Okay, I never
does
said
that
this.
make them fan club cousins?
What?
They're fan club cousins.
Tyler Boyd and Andy Dalton are?
Yeah, because if you're the president of the Andy Dalton fan club and the Tyler Boyd fan club, it
Yeah,
equates to
I get what you're
fan club
saying,
cousins.
but it's a bit of a stretch.
I mean, I'm just saying fan club cousins.
Okay.
Shout out to the fan club cousins, y'all.
All right, so back to the fantasy league then. Right now, there's 3 teams that are 9-4 right now at the top of the league. That's me, Jordan Heiser, and Michael Dorsey. And right now, the 2 playoff buys are going to me and Jordan Heiser, and that's primarily because of total points scored this year. So me and Jordan Heiser got a pretty significant lead on Michael Dorsey, who's only got 1326 this year, while me and Jordan Heiser both have over 1400 this year. So it would probably take at least 2 weeks to catch up for Michael Dorsey there, and that would require both me and Jordan having 2 bad weeks in a row. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen because right now, the 2 highest projected teams in the league right now are me and Jordan Heiser. So that's probably not going to happen. And then let's see. So you got all the other playoff teams have 7-6 records right now. So let's see. How many weeks are left for the regular season? Let's see. Week 15. What are we going into? Are we going into week 14?
Something like that.
I believe we're going into week 14. So there's basically 2 weeks left. 2 weeks of games left, and we're actually in the middle of one of them right now. So, so basically 1.5 weeks left for this playoff picture to shake out. So it looks to me like if projected results hold, then me and Jordan Heiser are probably. It is going to be a guarantee that either me or Jordan Heiser. Maybe both, but at least either me or Jordan Heiser are going to be one of the playoff buys because Michael Dorsey is going to be the only person who can catch either of us. So, I mean, it could be that we both just hold him off, but, if we don't, then only one of us is going to get knocked off by Michael Dorsey. So then you got John Dorsey, you got the bot, which is insane. And then you got Cameron Matthew, who are currently the other playoff teams. Right now, actually, the bot is projected to lose to Jan Romero from Offen Church, who, by the way, you want to talk about, he's had a pretty nice season turnaround, too. He's actually, if Jan does pull off the win over the bot this week, then he will probably take one of those playoff spots.
You could say that a higher power don't want Offen Church to get beat again.
I do think that's probably what's going on there.
Yeah.
Dunder
Shout
Mifflin. So DJ McNutt actually is looking like he's probably going to destroy his game this week. So he might actually vault himself back into a playoff spot too. So you got Cameron Matthew, who's projected to win. You got John Dorsey, who is projected to lose to Cameron Matthew. So that's probably what could happen. Cameron Matthew. Okay, so either Cameron Matthew or John Dorsey is going to win this week. So one of the two is going to lose. So that number 6 playoff spot could actually open up for somebody like DJ McNutt or Jan Romero. And personally, I'm rooting for Jan Romero, not because I have any problem with DJ McNutt, but just because, first of all, Jan Romero is my buddy. Second of all, because Jan Romero's got off to such a terrible start this year that just seeing that turnaround, that's something to root for. I was rooting for you to do it, Thomas, but it didn't work out because you trusted Dimitri Felton for some reason.
Hey man, his day will come.
Not in fantasy this year.
Yep.
But all right. So yeah, that's pretty much the state of the fantasy league right now. Let's go ahead and move on to the state of the AFC North, because I know you got some stuff that you want to say about the Steelers and Ravens. I want to start with the Steelers, because I got something to say about the Steelers. I got something to say about Chase Claypool in particular. Like, what the hell are you thinking, dude? Like, are you really... I know you went to Notre Dame, and they're all arrogant and full of themselves in Notre Dame, even though they haven't won anything in years, just like the Steelers, It's like the Steelers are like the Notre Dame of college football. Or I guess the Steelers of Notre Dame of professional football. But, point being, the difference is I don't find Notre Dame fans to be like as obnoxious as Steelers fans. Now, I mean, maybe that's my bias talking a little bit, but I never hear anything from Notre Dame fans. Like,
yeah, they're chill.
Yeah, they don't seem like they chirp all that much. Steelers fans are chirping constantly, dude. And I don't know. It's just like Chase Claypool seems like he's embraced that Steeler culture, just like to a T. And the problem is that Steeler culture only really works if they're winning. If they're not winning, it makes you, A, look like an idiot, and B, it leads to collapses like this. The Steelers almost had the biggest comeback victory in their entire franchise history this week, going down 29-0 to the Minnesota Vikings, and then almost coming back for a huge comeback. But then Chase Claypool hilariously, Thomas, celebrates a first down with 24 seconds left on the clock. And that clock's running. Just running and running and running while he's sitting there just like very slowly getting down like, I got a first down. And then like everybody, and then you can see the Steelers players like, bro, we need the ball. What are you doing? Get up, run another play, celebrate after we spike the ball. What are you doing?
Gotta love how exciting those first down plays are.
Well, you know what? What ended up happening is Chase Claypool probably cost the Steelers an extra play. On the final play of the game, Pat Freiermuth was unable to come down with a touchdown pass, and that ended the game. Had Chase Claypool not like celebrated like again, wait until you spike the ball, then celebrate. Like, you can still celebrate. Nobody's telling you not to celebrate. Just don't be an idiot about it. And Chase Claypool's an idiot. But
by the way,
they could have had another play available. A play that, by the way, Chase Claypool could have maybe been the one catching the touchdown, because, I mean, I'm not going to lie, Chase Claypool is a very talented, amazing wide receiver.
He made a great catch on that drive, too.
He made a great catch on that drive. He's made great catches, like, all year. Like, when that one game where the Bengals, like, destroyed the Steelers in Cincinnati a couple weeks ago, which was amazing, by the way, but Chase Claypool made this one incredible, like, sideline toe-tapping catch, and like after Ben Roethlisberger just like noodle armed through it like wherever he could, Chase Claypool like stops on a dime, goes and finds the ball and catches it. And like, I mean, the game is basically over at this point, but I think the Steelers are trying just like desperately to like make the score line look a little bit more respectable. And I turned to the Steelers fans who were sitting next to me. I'm like, God, man, like if he wasn't such an asshole, he'd be an amazing addition for your team. Like I got to admit, he's got insane talent. But the problem is when you act like that, you just end up costing your team, and that ends up being your legacy. Not these amazing catches, but like moves like that.
I said it during the live stream. Check out our live stream.
Yeah, that was a good one. I mean, like it's mostly
I reacted to it as it happened.
Like, even if you're not interested in our predictions for the week, you might want to go check out our most recent predictions live stream, because we were reacting to that Vikings Steelers game as it was happening. And by the way, you can watch me have like a slow meltdown as I'm watching the Steelers come back from this 29-0 deficit. Like I'm sitting here like having a heart attack. Like, oh my god, this isn't really happening, is it? I started like chewing out the refs, and it was hilarious. But what you can also watch is just our reaction to Chase Claypool just like getting down. And we both reacted too. You reacted first because like for whatever reason your feed's like 3 seconds ahead of mine. But we both reacted to it. We were like, dude, what is he doing? He's just sitting there like kneeling with the ball right next to him, and like the Steelers like the clock's running. You have no timeouts left. I didn't understand at the time, and I feel like because the Steelers were rushed, that's part of why that they weren't able to make a play happen at the end, because they had to kind of rush it. Like if the Steelers had had more time, I think Ben Roethlisberger might not have felt as pressured to like force something, because this is the last opportunity that you got. But you know what? Thank God he did, because fuck the Steelers. Pittsburgh, y'all deserve Chase Claypool. Hey guys, I need to take a second to tell you about NordVPN real quick. I'm sure you've all heard about it because they're everywhere, and it's for a good reason. This is the absolute best, sleekest, and easiest to use VPN out there. Trust me, I've used a few different VPN services for various reasons, and this is the one that I settled on because honestly, it's like I said, it's the sleekest and easiest to use. It takes 10 seconds to just go get it set up, get connected, and get yourself on a new server somewhere around the world, and then you have access to all of these regionally blocked things. And in addition to that, I personally get a little weirded out by everyone with the basic knowledge of systems and hacking having access to my information. So it's really nice to have a kind of a buffer between that too. There's also a wide world of regionally blocked content out there that's the only reason you're not able to access it is because you live in a certain country where this stuff isn't available. So one service I really like is called NFL Game Pass International. It's meant for the international community. It's not available in the United States, but if you're a United States citizen and you use NordVPN to go connect to, I usually use the Ireland or the Brazil server, and suddenly I'm connected and I'm able to watch all these games. You can use basically any country where the service is actually available. Then I pull up the broadcast, sit back, watch the game. Any game. They have all of the NFL games throughout the entire season on this service. And then you also get access to all the normal NFL Game Pass stuff too. So, replays, all 22, the kind of stuff that's, some people just enjoy having NFL Game Pass for in the first place. I do exactly that every Monday and Thursday night when we do our live streams, where me and Thomas make our predictions or talk about the predictions that we made. We do it during the Monday night and Thursday night games where we're watching the game and reacting. And the way that I have access to that is I have an NFL Game Pass International. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description. And if you go click that link, it'll take you to NordVPN's website, and it'll automatically get you 69% off your first 3 months for free. That's only $3.67 a month, guys. For all the wide world of access and protection that VPNs give you, I think you can spare $3.67 a month. To me, that's a really good deal. And not only, if you go do that, it helps support our channel, and like I said, helps you guys get access to the best VPN network out there. Seriously, I really recommend it. So go down on the link in that description and get 69% off your first 3 months of NordVPN for free.
Going back to Chase Claypool, I think that he, like you said, this is a kid who's got a lot of potential. He's going to be a great receiver in his NFL. So he's on his second year, and he makes phenomenal. That catch that he made while getting pushed out of bounds and a flag, he caught it. He didn't even realize that he even had a flag because he celebrated too early on that play. He wants all the he got Odell Beckhamitis. The league's gonna humble him. He get humbled. But thing is that he's gonna be arrogant, and that's fine. We won't see how he pans out. He's a receiver. We know how stuff goes. I just figured out that Antonio Brown just got suspended again. So he plays in that same organization where they produce people like him. So I don't know, man. I think he's a cool dude. I just think that he's just arrogant and stupid.
Well, it reminds
Not
me. It reminds me of Hines Ward. You remember how arrogant and awful he was? The
shit.
difference is nobody called him out on it because the Steelers, won Super Bowls and stuff with him. People
Mhm.
called Antonio Brown out because, as talented as he was, as many stats as he put up, the Steelers never did anything during the Antonio Brown era.
Yeah, that's true. I think he'd be fine. I mean, he just gotta figure his figure his life out. Figure your
Yeah.
stuff out.
So, for the Ravens, then, we mentioned it in. Obviously, we talked about the Ravens because y'all play the Ravens, so we kind of already like brought up everything going on with them. But I do have a question that I want to talk about though with the Ravens on the state of the AFC North.
Let's go.
Are their injuries becoming too much for them to handle? Because like I don't know what the stats are for the most injured teams in the NFL, but as far as like most injuries to key players, it's got to be the Ravens, right?
Yep.
Like
Hey,
I
I
mean,
mean, like, yeah,
you
probably.
you predicted that they were going to collapse, but here's the thing: you can't predict injuries, so you're going to end up like probably being right, but you're going to end up probably being right because of injuries, which is like kind of a cheap way of being right.
Doesn't matter how you're right, it's just all about being right. And when you're cheap about being right, you could take the rest of that money and spend it on steaks. So you know what? You suck, Baltimore.
They suck.
But before I take my victory lap, I want to wait till after this game.
Well, first of all, y'all got to beat the Ravens first for you to take a victory lap.
Dude, I've been smiling this whole podcast. All I want to say is this: is that like I just like we need to start having Lamar Jackson question. We need to have the Lamar Jackson conversation soon enough. And like Lamar Jackson now, he got to put the whole team on his back. And obviously the offense is ran around Lamar Jackson. But now we're gonna start asking the question: can Lamar Jackson overcome all of this? Is this gonna be overwhelming for him? I just honestly just don't think Lamar Jackson is as great as the national media is telling me. I know that's some kind of conspiracy stuff, but like I'm watching him do one thing. And I'm hearing people tell me other things. Like I remember that Sunday night game. They're like, well, Lamar Jackson threw 4 picks, but he got the confidence to keep on throwing the ball. That's why he's so great. Really? So I throw if I have a son and he's 15 and he's quarterbacking for Pee Wee football, for high school football, and it's his first game, and he throws 6 picks, but he got the confidence to keep on throwing that ball down the field. I'm gonna look at coach like, hey, coach, man, like, look, you gotta take my son out of the game, man. Maybe quarterback shouldn't be for him. Or maybe you stop playing quarterback today till he comes back and stop throwing 5 picks or 6 picks or how many picks he's throwing. Same thing with Lamar Jackson.
How many did Nathan Peterman throw that one time?
I don't know, but he was throwing that ball with confidence. When are we going to have a Lamar Jackson conversation? When are we really going to have the Lamar Jackson conversation? When are we going to look at those?
And that's fair because a lot of these things you're saying are things you could totally say about Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah, but we've been having this conversation every day.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. People do say that about Baker Mayfield. This conversation that you and me right now are having about Lamar Jackson is a totally fair conversation that not enough people
totally
have.
Fair.
But you have the same conversation about Baker Mayfield, and everybody wants to talk all about that because
Shit.
I mean it is accurate for him too. But like we got to be fair,
Kyle.
And actually, I'm not gonna lie. We kind of got to be a little fair about that with Joe Burrow too, who currently leads the league in interceptions.
Kyle. But one thing that Joe Burrow can do that Lamar Jackson can't do, and this is why I'm not worried about Joe Burrow, is Joe Burrow can consistently throw that ball down the field.
That's true.
In the pocket.
That's true. When he's not throwing interceptions, he's typically doing really cool stuff.
And honestly, honestly on the low, like when people say, "Oh yeah, that quarterback's not athletic," so I don't want him because he's not athletic. That whole wait with me anymore. Because like honestly though, Tom Brady was never really that athletic. Come on, man, let's be real. Tom Brady was never athletic. He is the winningest quarterback of all freaking time. So what did I tell you? Is that when it comes to the quarterback position, It's such a technical position. It's such a thinking position. It's such a mechanics position. It's so much that goes into being a quarterback than just being able to make cool throws and cool runs and all that stuff. I pray that the Ravens give Lamar Jackson a big fat extension. I pray they do. I pray they do, Kyle. I do it, Baltimore.
I agree.
Do it.
Cripple your franchise.
Do it.
Because Lamar Jackson.
Do it. He's getting worse every year. And next year he's going to be horrible. Watch. You remember that?
I don't know if I'm going to go that far.
He's going to have a similar year. He's looking like. Okay, Lamar Jackson is playing like Michael Vick did in Philadelphia. When Michael Vick played in Philadelphia, he came to the scene and he was hot. He was explosive. He was athletic. And then he started making these turnovers. And then people started saying, well, I mean, like, he's Michael Vick. He'll be okay. He'll figure it out. He's Michael Vick. And he kept on turning the ball over. And then every season, if you look at Michael Vick's stats, he got worse and worse and worse. People are like, yeah, he got a big arm, yeah. But there's more to the quarterback position than that. And then he eventually lost his position. And I think that's what's going to happen to Lamar Jackson. I think next season is going to be horrible for Lamar Jackson. I think it's going to be like a Michael Vick season. I think this season's bad for him. But you know what?
I don't know if I think he's going to be horrible next year, but I definitely
think he's going to be mediocre.
I think he's going to take a step back, like a noticeable step back. Like people are going to.
He's already taking a noticeable step back.
What happened to Lamar Jackson? That's going to be a big topic of conversation next year, I think.
He's already taking a noticeable step back, but nobody's noticing it.
No, but if he does it next year too, I think people will start noticing it.
Oh, I'm noticing it. I'm putting you on notice, Lamar.
Okay.
Up here doing these awesome sidearm throws and he's still gonna do something like. But the reason why people don't have the Lamar Jackson conversation is because he's so freaking athletic. So he's still probably gonna do something like run for 65, 75, 80 yards. Fine, do it. Run for 100 yards, Lamar Jackson. Do it. Do that. Don't care. Beat us through the air. Try to throw in that Cleveland weather. It's gonna be cold and windy in Cleveland on Sunday.
Yeah.
Throw that medicine ball to Mark Andrews. See what happens. Do it, Lamar. I triple dog dare you.
Let's see. Let's see if he can. I don't know if he can or not. Like I said, my main area of concern with that one was like, can the Browns actually do anything with it?
And we ain't gonna get no Marquise Hollywood Brown this weekend.
Well,
I just love saying his name. I just Marquise Hollywood Brown. I hate that.
All right. Well, I think that's probably going to do it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast, guys. I think it's a pretty good place to leave off on. So, thank you so much for listening. You can always find more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/thephelps. Check Thomas out at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to check out my Bengals writing at atbnetwork.com/Cincinnati Bengals.
It's good stuff.
Go check out more of my I got my own YouTube channel now. It's exclusive Cincinnati Bengals stuff, and also I do like power rankings and stuff. So that's good. You want to go check that out. Go check out Thomas as the Thomas J Network on TikTok and YouTube, because he puts out a lot of good content on that as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So anyway, I think that's pretty much it for today. So I'll leave y'all with a hooday.
Go Cleveland Hollywood Browns.
Pronounced Lou.